and gentlemen, Bungle, hope you're doing well and I hope you're having a great day. Today we are going over Enlisted, the World War II free-to-play first-person shooter. Much requested, much talked about. Hey Bungle, why don't you go and cover and review the BEAUFIGHTER MK X in the Battle of Tunisia Campaign. Now, if you're a new viewer, possibly a new subscriber, maybe wondering, Bungle, what do you do here? Well, pretty much, I gave you an overview, kind of telling you, what are we reviewing today? Next, I talk about the performance. Is it good? Is it bad? And lastly, is it worth it? So without further ado, let's begin. Starting off with an overview. All right, so this aircraft is a level 30 Attacker 2 aircraft that you pick up for the Allies and the Battle of Tunisia Campaign. So moving down to its performance, the real question is here, how does this perform compared to the SPD, and is this a big upgrade? So we're going to dive into the armament. Kind of the main factor here that's going to perform better, in my opinion, compared to SPD is actually a secondary armament of the 8x RP3 rockets. These rockets are very similar to HVARs and the Invasion of Normandy campaign, where it comes to just wiping out infantry and destroying enemy vehicles. The main selling point here of the BEAUFIGHTER MK X compared to the SBD is, well, very simple as these rockets. These rockets are more reliable, are great at taking out infantry. You can get tons of multi-kills compared to the Dauntless, or the SPD, which we're going to refer to as Dauntless. Is that the Dauntless is just, you get a 1,000-pound bomb and you get, a 500-pound bomb. Ever since the bomb nerf happened and Enlisted, the Dauntless is really just useless, and bombers in general tend to be useless because their blast radius and the way the bomb mechanics work and everything in the game, it isn't really that reliable. The only good reason to use the Dauntless really is that if you're getting, killed by, let's say, a Panzer IV F2 or a Panzer IIIJ or the premium Panzer IIIN, and you don't really have a way of dealing with it, you hop into the Dauntless and you go dive bomb a target and drop the bombs off. The difference here with, the Dauntless is just focused for killing tanks, in my opinion. That's the only reason I would even bring it out. The BEAUFIGHTER, on the other hand, focuses pretty much on destroying light vehicles, so like the armored car that the Italians have that can just wipe it out very easily, as well as just harassing infantry. You will get tons of multi-kills. Now keep in mind, this aircraft performs very well on open maps. When you get to kind of city combat, this aircraft isn't really going to shine that well because the rockets are more intended to cause damage in open spaces. So when you have maps where there's just desert, this aircraft is just going to massacre enemy infantry. Now moving on with its primary armament, with its 4x 20mm Hispano cannons, you get 1,132 rounds. In addition, you also get 6x 7.7mm machine guns, and these machine guns are going to be in the wings, whereas the 20mm Hispano cannons are going to be in the nose. Of course, you have the opportunity of having a turreted AI gunner, a 7.7mm machine gun. Now, when it comes to how does this aircraft perform, it's basically a flying brick. Yes, the BEAUFIGHTER is considered a heavy fighter, so as a result, it's going to be able to take some sort of damage, but at the same time, it's a heavy fighter, so as a result, it's going to be outmaneuvered by fighters. But this aircraft is designed to go and engage and harass infantry and enemy forces, so in my opinion, I don't consider dogfighting being the primary objective of this aircraft. If you do happen to come across someone that's trying to hit on you, you will win that engagement. Now, of course, the aircraft models are wonky. The damage models for aircraft are very, very just janked and kind of crazy. So you'll be dumping a lot of rounds into an aircraft and you'll be wondering, why is this aircraft shot down yet? And it's because Enlisted, for whatever reason, when it comes to aircraft, has a really weird damage model. Now, moving down to, is it worth it? I kind of am going to say that this is like a P-47 in Tunisia. In my opinion, this aircraft performs basically just like a P-47 would in the Invasion of Normandy, minus having bombs. The rockets on this aircraft, the RP3 rockets, are just infantry killers. Like I said, if you get in an open map, you will take this aircraft out and you will massacre the enemy team. When you get to city engagements, you'll realize this aircraft isn't going to perform that well because it kind of needs that open area to have that cause and effect of the explosions to just wipe out enemy infantry. But other than that, I mean, if you get an open map and there's no enemy forces in the sky, you're just going to have a fun time just farming enemy infantry and enemy vehicles. This aircraft really is kind of handheld, in my opinion. If you have no one that wants to engage you, you'll do very well, and you'll see that you'll come out on top of your team most of the time. You will find that the Dauntless is better than the Beaufighter Mark X when it comes out to just specifically taking out tanks, where you would just suicide crash into a tank and drop the bombs off. The Beaufighter is more designed just to harass enemy infantry and destroy this pesky light armored Italian cars. In my opinion, I think this aircraft is definitely worth the grind. It makes Tunisia a fun experience, and I highly recommend players getting this plane. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.